Now I would like to explain concept called iterative statement nested for break and continue statements. And coming to the looping statements, Python supports basic loop structure through iterative statements. Iterative statements will execute, use it to repeat some set of statements again and again until the condition becomes false. Iterative statements is also called as looping statements. We already studied control structures. Looping statements also comes under control structures only. So, there are two types of iterative statements available in Python. One is called while loop, another one is called for loop. While loop is called indefinite loops and for loop is called definite loop. Why it is called indefinite loop? Why for is called definite loop? So, indefinite loop is nothing but the loop will be executed infinite times until the condition becomes false. When the condition becomes false, come out of the loop. If the condition will not become false, the loop will go to infinite. That's why it is called indefinite loop. When coming to the for loop, the loop will be executed specified number of times. Suppose I want to execute some set of statements 10 times. You already know how many times if you want to execute, then we have to go for loop. If you don't know how many times you have to execute based on the condition, if you want to execute, then we have to go for while loop. These are the two different kinds of iterative statements available in Python. Okay. So, the while loop provides mechanism to repeat one or more statements while a particular condition is true. And the following is the syntax of while loop. Here you see while. So, while is the keyword you have to use. After that we have to use test condition. That means which condition if you want to specify, that you have to specify in the brackets. After that you have to use a colon. And a set of statements. Statement block means consisting of n number of statements or n number of instructions we can write in between these while loop. And after that statement X come out of the loop, then statement Y will be executed. How it is going to be evaluated? First it will test the test condition. If the test condition is true, then statement block will be executed. If the condition is false, simply come out of the while loop and the statement Y will be executed. If in this suppose we have to update the loop variable, if we have to test condition will be done through loop variable. If the loop variable is not incremented, decremented, then the condition will not be satisfied and the loop may go to infinite loop. That's why it is called indefinite loop. And while loop is also referred to as an entry control loop. While entering into the loop, we are checking the condition. That's why it is called entry control loop. If test condition is false, suppose whenever you check the condition first time, the condition is false, simply come out of the loop and statement Y will be executed. The statement block will not be executed for the first time also. If the condition is true, then only statement block will be executed. So, this is the flow chart. Statement X will be executed. After executing statement X, it will enter into the condition. It will check the test condition. If condition is true, again it will go to statement block will be executed. After executing statement block, what you have to do? You have to update the condition. We have to update the loop variable. We have to update here. And again check the condition. Again if the condition is true, again statement block will be executed and this will be repeated until the condition become false. Whenever the condition is false here, simply come out of the while loop and statement Y will be executed. So, this is the flow chart for a while loop. When coming to the program, here you see n equal to 5 we have taken initially while n greater than 0, this is the test condition. N greater than 0 is the test condition, 5 is greater than 0, 5 is greater than 0, condition is true. So, it is going to execute the while loop. In while loop, how many instructions are there here? 2 instructions we are executing. One is print n, another one is called n equal to n minus 1. So, 5 is greater than 0, so it will print n value, so that it will print 5. So, that it will print the value 5, n equal to n minus 1. So, n will become 4, n will become 4. And after that, here again go to while loop. Why it will go to while loop? Here you see there is a concept called indentation. Do you know, all of you already? That means whenever you give a space, all these will be under while loop only. Only two statements available in the while loop. So n equal to n minus 1 means n will become 4. Again it will go to the while loop, and 4 is greater than 0. Condition true. Print n means 4 will be printed, and n equal to n minus 1, n will become 3. And 3 is greater than 0. Condition true. Again print n means 3 will be printed, and n equal to n minus 1 means n will become 2. And 2 is greater than 0. Again condition is true. So print n means 2 will be printed. After that n equal to n minus 1 means n will become 1. And 1 is greater than 0. 1 is greater than 0. Again condition is true. So print n means 1 will be printed. And after that n equal to n minus 1, it is 0. And 0 is greater than 0. Condition will become false. So after that come to the statement y. What is the statement y here? Blast off. So that will be printed in the output. And print n means, what is the value of n? We already got n value 0. So print n means 0 will be printed. 0 will be printed. So this is the logic of using while loop. When coming to the flow chart here, n initially 5. N initially 5, and after that while test condition. So condition will be verified here. Condition will be verified here. What is the condition? N greater than 0. So 5 greater than 0. Condition is true. So it will come to the yes part, that means true part, and it will print n. That means 5 will be printed. N equal to n minus 1. N will become 4. This is, n is called here a loop variable. N is called here a loop variable because based on n value loop will be executed. Based on n value loop will be executed. That's why it is called a loop variable, and n will become 4. 4 is greater than 0. Condition true. Print n means 4 will be printed, and n equal to n minus 1, and 4 minus 1, n will become 3. 3 is greater than 0. Condition true again. Print n means 3 will be printed, and 3 minus 1, 2. 2 is greater than 0. 2 will be printed, and n will become 1. 1 greater than 0. Condition true. 1 will be printed, and after that n will become 0. 0 greater than 0, false. So it will go to the no part, and it will execute blast off. So this is the output we will get. So this is the execution of while loop. This is the another example, infinite loop. Previous example we have seen, that is finite loop. That means the loop will be executed some predefined time. When coming to the here, it will go to infinite loop. Why it will go to infinite loop here? You see here, n equal to 5. N value is 5. So n equal to 5, and here the test condition 5 greater than 0. So 5 greater than 0. Condition is true. Condition is true. So it will execute print Vignan. It will print Vignan. Vignan will be printed. After that print VSKP. So VSKP will be printed, and again it will go to while loop here, and 5 is greater than, n value is not updated here. N is a loop variable, but n is not updated here. Again n will become 5 only. 5 greater than 0. Condition again true. Again it will print Vignan and VSKP, and this will be repeated how many times? It will repeat infinite times. It will repeat infinite time because n is not updated here. N is not updated here. That's why it will go to infinite loop. When coming to the flow chart here, n equal to 5. 5 greater than 0, condition is true. So it will come to the true part, and it will print Vignan. After that it will print VSKP, and again it will go to here. Again check the condition 5 is greater than 0. Again it will print yes, print Vignan and print VSKP. This will be repeated infinite times because n is not updated here. That's why this will repeat and does not come out of the loop. That's why this loop is called infinite loop. So while loop may go to infinite loop if the condition is not loop variable. If loop variable is not updated, the loop may go to infinite loop. So this is the another example. When coming to the for loop is a definite loop. That means how many times if you want to execute a loop can be done by using for loop. So a for loop is used for iterating over a sequence, iterated over a sequence. Sequence here, what is a sequence? Sequence can be a Here the sequence can be a list or a tuple or a dictionary or a string. Anything can be used, can be in place of a sequence. So iterating over a sequence is called traversing. Iterating over a sequence is called traversing. Given list of elements for loop can be used over each item in the list and execute it. So suppose I have taken a string, for each element the loop will be executed until all the elements in the string has to be completed. So that is called traversal. That is called a traversal. So to iterate over a series of items, we can also use a range function. We can also use a range function. Range function also we can use in the for loops. So the syntax of for loop is, for keyword we had to use, after that loop control variable we had to specify, in keyword we had to use, and sequence can be any list, tuple or a string, anything can be used here, and statement block will be executed. So this will be repeat until end of all the elements in the sequence has to be completed. So when coming to the flow chart, for each item in the sequence, if it is the last item is reached, no means body of the for loop will be executed, and if it is not last item reached, no means body of the loop will be executed. This will be repeated until it reaches last item in the sequence. Last item in the sequence. If you reach last item in the sequence, yes means we have to exit from the loop. We have to exit from the for loop. So this is a syntax and this is a flow chart of for loop in Python. And when coming to the here, you see in this example, s equal to vig. So s equal to vig nan insti tute. This is a string sequence. String I have taken s equal to Vignan Institute, and c equal to 0 is nothing but here count. Count value 0 we have taken for x in s. So x is a loop variable. X is a loop variable. Here s is a sequence. Sequence is nothing but here string. Sequence is nothing but here string. So it will take the first element. V will be assigned to x. V will be assigned to x. So x will become v initially. X will become v initially, and c equal to c plus 1. C will become 1. Already c value 0. 0 plus 1 will become c will 1. Print x. Print x means what is the value of x? V will be printed. V will be printed. Again it will go to for loop. Again it will go to for loop, and next item will be assigned to x. What is the next item? And x will become I. X will become I. So c equal to c plus 1. C will become 2. C will become 2. Print x means I will be printed. I will be printed. Next item s. Next item will be assigned to x. What is the next item? G. X equal to G, and c equal to 3 and G will be printed. C equal to 3 and G will be printed. Like this it will repeat until it reaches E. Suppose last item x equal to E. Last item x equal to E, and x will be, last item E will be assigned to x. C equal to C plus 1. That means C will become 15. C will become 15 and E will be printed, and again it will go to here. Last item is reached. So come out of the for loop, and C equal to length of the C means it will print the output 15. It will print the output 15. So this is the execution of the for loop. And coming to the examples, write a Python code to print 1 to 10 numbers. Suppose I want to print I equal to 1, and while I less than equal to 10 colon, we have to print I comma end equal to blank space, and equal to blank space. Then we have to use I equal to I plus 1. We have to use I equal to I plus 1. See here I equal to 1, while I is less than equal to 10, that means 1 is less than equal to 10, condition is true, print I, that means in output you will get the value 1. and I equal to I plus 1, I will become 2, and again go to while loop, 2 is less than equal to 10, condition true, 2 will be printed, and again I will become 3, 3 is less than equal to 10, condition true, 3 will be printed, and 4 will be printed. Like this it will print 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I will become 9 here, again go to while loop, 9 is less than equal to 10, condition is true. So print I means 9 will be printed, and I equal to I plus 1, I will become 10, and I is less than equal to 10, condition is true. So 10 will be printed, and I will become 11, and 11 is less than equal to 10, condition false, simply come out of the loop. What is the output we got? This is the output we got, 1 to 10 numbers. We can print using while loop. Suppose I want to find sum of 10 numbers. I want to find sum and average of 10 numbers. Same logic you can use, you add some more here. So if you want to find sum and average, simply you have to use I equal to 1 and while I less than equal to 10 colon, what you have to do? You have to find the sum. So S equal to S plus I, S equal to S plus I, and I equal to I plus 1, I equal to I plus 1. Here you can give S equal to 0 initialize. S can be initialized with 0, and S equal to S plus I, and I equal to I plus 1. That means I value 1 will be added to S, and I will become 2 will be added to S. Like this it will add all 10 numbers to S. And suppose I want to print sum. So sum equal to comma yes. Also you can print average. So print AVG equal to column S by 10, or you can use, suppose you can also write float of S. We can also use typecasting, float of S by 10, or you can write S by 10 also. So S by 10 also you will get the output. So this is the logic to print 1 to 10 numbers. This is the logic. If you want to find sum of 1 to 10 numbers and average, this is the program we have to use. And coming to the, so next one is a range function. Range function is a built-in function in Python. It is used to iterate over a sequence of numbers. The syntax of range function is range, begin, end, and step. Here you see range function having begin is one argument, end is another argument, and step is another argument. 3 arguments, and here step is optional, and also we instead of begin and end also we can use end also. Begin is also optional. If you want you can use here. For example, suppose range of 1 comma 10. Suppose range of 10, and suppose range of 1 comma 10 comma 2. So how it is going to be execute the values here? Range of 1 to 10 means it will take the values from 1 to 10. It will take the values from 1 to 10 minus 1. Always end means it will take the value end minus 1. Always it take the value end minus 1. That means range 1 to 10 means it will take values only 1 to 9. It will take the values only 1 to 9. Range of 10 means always if you don't specify the begin value, it will take the value 0. It will take the value 0. Always end is end minus 1. So 10 minus 1. That means here 1 to 9 it will take the values. Here 0 to 9 it will take the values. It will take the values 0 to 9. And next one is range of 1 comma 10 comma 2. That means this is the beginning, this is the end, and this is the step value. That means if you don't specify the step value, in these two cases the step value is 1 automatically, but in this case step value has specified as a 2. So it will take the values 1, 3, next 5, 7, comma 9. So these are the range values you have to taken. So range 1 to 10 means, range of 1 to 10 means you will get the values 1 to 9. Range of 10 means 0 to 9. And the range of 1 comma 10 comma 2 means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 values will be taken. For example, here print list of range 10. Please print list of range 10. So range 10 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You will get the list. You will get the list here. Print list of range of 10 means it will print because list is a function, it will return the list value. It will return the list value instead of we are using range 10 means 0 to 9, you will get the list value. Okay. And coming to the for loop here, for I in range 1 to 6, range function can also be used in the for loop. See here, for I in range 1 to 6. So print I comma and is nothing but blank space. And is nothing but here blank space. I already told range means start with 1 because already starting position is given and end position is 6. That means it will take from 1 to 5 only. It will take from 1 to 5 only. So for I in range, that means it is a sequence. So first value 1 will be assigned to I. So I gets value 1. I gets value 1. Print I means 1 will be printed. Print I means 1 will be printed. Again it will go to here. Step value, there is no step value. That's why automatically step value is 1. So I gets value 2. So I will become 2. Print I means 2 will be printed. Next I will become 3. And print I means 3 will be printed. Next I will become 4. That means 4 will be printed. Next I will become 5. And 5 will be printed. Whenever I is 6, simply come out of the for loop because we in the range from 1, 6 means it will take the values from 1 to 5 only. 1 to 5 only. This is the output we got in the first case. Suppose you consider another example. In this case, for I in the range 1, 10, 2. So this is the starting value, this is the end value, this is the step value. So first value will be assigned to I and I gets value 1. So 1 will be printed. Next step value 2, that's why I will be incremented by 2. So 1 plus 2, I will become 3. I will become 3 and print I means 3 will be printed. And step value 2 again, 3 plus 2 is 5. Next value 5 will be printed. And next value 5 plus 2 is 7. So 7 is the next value. And 7 plus 2, 9. 9 is the last value because 1, 10 means 1 to 9 only. 1 to 9 only. So 9 is also included. So we will get the value 9. 9 plus 2, 11. 11 is not in the range. So come out of the for loop. So this is the execution of for loops using range functions. And we will see some of the examples in the examples he asked in the final examination. Those are nothing but, suppose write a Python code. I will tell you one by one. So write a Python code to check given number is Armstrong number or not. So write a Python code to check whether the given number is Armstrong number or not. So what is a Armstrong number? How to check whether the given number is Armstrong number or not. For example, first I will explain the concept, then I will write the code. So first you will see, suppose I have taken n value equal to 1, 2, 3. N value I have taken, input is 1, 2, 3 and what is the output we have to get? So we have to check this number is Armstrong number or not. Armstrong number or not. This is not Armstrong number. Not Armstrong number. So for example, another input I have taken n equal to 153. What is the output we will get? It is Armstrong number. So 123 is not Armstrong number and 153 Armstrong. How it is not Armstrong and how it is a 153 is Armstrong number. So what is the logic for Armstrong number? Armstrong number is nothing but a individual digit cube sum is equal to the original number, then the given number is Armstrong number. Otherwise it is not a Armstrong number. For example, I have taken 123. Individual digit means 1 is individual digit, 2 is individual digit and 3 is individual digit. Suppose cube sum and 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube is equal to, if the number is equal to 123, you had to calculate the value. The value is equal to 123, it is a Armstrong number, otherwise it is not a Armstrong number. So 1 cube means 1, 2 cube means 8, 27. So what is the output we got here? 36 is not equal to 123. That's why it is a not Armstrong number. Suppose you take here 153, 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube. So what is the value we got here? 1 cube means 1, 5 cube means 125 plus 27. So what is the value we got here? 153 is equal to original number. What is the original number we have taken? 123. That's why 153 is a Armstrong number. What is the logic here? Individual digits cube sum is equal to the original number, then the given number is Armstrong number, otherwise it is not a Armstrong number. So suppose I want to write a code to check whether the given number is Armstrong number or not. Suppose we have to take n value. So to read n value we have to use input function. So n equal to int of input, enter a value, because whatever value it will read input function, that will be in the form of string, we have to convert it in integer. That's why we have to use a int conversion function, and we have to take s equal to 0 initially. We have to take s equal to 0. Sum we have to find, and while, you can use any loop, while loop or for loop, while n is not equal to 0, not equal to 0. So you can also keep original number in another number. So n1 equal to n, n1 equal to n. Original number I am storing in another variable called n1. While n is not equal to 0, we have to use colon, and we have to space, we have to use r equal to n mod 10, r equal to n mod 10. After that what you have to do? S equal to, here individual digit will get by using mod symbol. How you get the individual digit? Individual digit you can get by using percentage symbol. Percentage is a reminder value you can get here. So reminder means you will get the individual digit. So S equal to S plus R into R, because individual digit cube we have to take and we have to make it sum. So S equal to S plus R into R, individual digit we are making cube and making sum. And next we have to use n equal to n floor division 10 we have to use. N floor division we have to use. Here after coming the value, what you have to do? If S equal to n1, what you have to print? Armstrong number. Otherwise, else colon you have to use, print not Armstrong. So here when coming to the n value, suppose I have taken n equal to 123, here s equal to 0, iteration 1, I1 means iteration 1, s equal to 0 initially, and r equal to n mod 10, r equal to 123 mod 10. So remainder value equal to 3, and s equal to s plus 0 plus 3 into 3. So you will get the value 27. S equal to 27 and n equal to n floor division 10. So what is the value of n here? 123. So 123 floor division 10, what is the value you will get? 12 you will get. 12 you will get. This is the iteration 1. When coming to the again it will go to the while loop. 12 is not equal to 0, condition is true. So again it will execute next iteration, that is called iteration 2, I2, iteration 2, when coming to iteration R equal to n mod 10. So what is the n value here? 12. So R equal to 12 mod 10. So you'll get the value 2. S equal to previous S value is 27. 27 plus 2 into 2 into 2. 8, that equal to 36, that equal to 36, and n equal to 12 floor division 10, you will get the value, coefficient value is 1, coefficient value is 1. When coming to the, again we will come to the while loop, 1 is not equal to 0, condition is true, again it will execute iteration 3. When coming to the I3, iteration 3, R equal to 1 percentage 10, that means remainder value is 1, remainder value is 1, and S equal to, already you got 36 plus 1 equal to 37, and n equal to 1, floor division 10 means you will get the value 0, floor division 10 means you will get the value 0, again it will go to here, 0 is not equal to 0, condition is false, so come out of the loop, and S equal to n1. So n1 means already n equal to 123, we are storing in n1, that is equal to 123. So 123 is equal to, S means you got the value 37, S means you got the value 37, 37 equal to 123, condition is false, so it come to the else case, and it will print a not Armstrong number, not a Armstrong number. Suppose I have given 153, and you will get the output here SC, you will get the output 153, 153 is equal to 153, so you will get the output is Armstrong number. So this is the logic for to check given number is Armstrong number or not. But in exam he may ask like not like this, to generate all Armstrong numbers between 1 to 100. Write a Python code to generate all Armstrong numbers between 1 to 100, let's say 1 to 1000, like this he may ask in the examination. Then what you have to do, we have to use another loop here, we have to use another loop here. I will explain that one. Now write a Python code to generate Armstrong numbers between 1 to 1000. Suppose if you want to write a code, then we have to take two loops here. Already previously we discussed how to check whether the single number is Armstrong number or not. Now we have to check n Armstrong numbers, that is 1 to 1000 Armstrong numbers we have to verify. So whatever logic previously we have seen, same logic we have to apply in another loop. So previously we have seen while loop and R equal to t mod 10 and S equal to S plus R into R into R and t equal to t by 10. This is a logic to check whether the given number is Armstrong number or not. So now what we have to do, we have to put this logic into another loop called for loop, because already is given the range 1 to 1000. That's why for I in range 1 to 1000. So first value I will be as 1 will be assigned to I, and we have to check I is Armstrong number or not. If it is Armstrong number, then I have to print value 1. Next I will become 2. Again this logic will check second number is Armstrong or not. Next I will become 3, and 3 will be Armstrong number or not, it will verify. Like this it will check all the